Yo, 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 what up, traders? What up, investors? Ken here from the Dyslexic Investor, and thank you for tuning in for a fantastic live stream. Um, just a quick heads up, I'm kind of battling a little bit of a cold, allergies, I'm not sure yet. Just been kind of coughing with a very dry throat, so I'm going to be sipping on a lot of water. So, again, everyone, thank you for hanging in there. I see Fish posted early. Ryan, what's up, my friend? Kev, GTFO, what's up? Which kind of minutes do you mean, sir? Waiting. Oh, come on, give me a little break. Never been much of a sushi guy. I love sushi. It depends on what kind of sushi. I'm not that crazy into the octopus stuff. Kenny has Rona. Those are rumors there. Haven't been tested. So let's just go ahead and jump into just the futures market, or as right off the bat. So we're looking here at /ES, as again the S&P 500 futures market. We are up just a hair of 0.27%. The thing is kind of, again, we are going into a week that's going to be, historically speaking, not the most volatile. It's going to be Thanksgiving weekend or Thanksgiving week. So we're going to be seeing a little bit lower volumes in the week. Again, shorter trading periods. We're going to have, I believe, excuse me, most markets are closed on Thursday, and then Friday is basically a half day, and markets are closed, I believe, at 12:30 or 1 o'clock. So those are going to be the two schools of the food for thought for that. So a lot of people do like the premiums are not as substantial if you're selling options premium on a weekly basis due to the fact of those two conditions that we just talked about. But potentially looking for somewhat of a quiet week. With this market, a quiet week, I don't even know what that means anymore. And the amount of volatility we've seen coming back and forth and kind of just jumping around. Come Monday, that's something to look at, of sense of the last couple Mondays we've had some kind of pharmaceutical company coming out with a vaccine. Of course, we had Modernum come out last week, which kind of made the market go higher. Then we had the Pfizer one come out the 9th of November come out. Of course, that really shook the market and really just took a lot of things to all-time highs, especially the retail, the travel stocks, and all the stocks have been really just been kicked down in the teeth due to the overall virus just ransacking businesses. Then, of course, we had that kick up with Modernum's coming out with their vaccine. I think it was 94% efficient to the other ones, but yeah. Disney's vaccine gets FDA approval. What? If Disney Disney publishes a vaccine. Yeah, REGN is definitely one that we've been looking for, and that has been one that has, I don't know, do they have the vaccine or they have an antibody treatment that kind of helps move things forward, right? I know you're just kidding, but again, but the thing is, I don't know if people watch the Onion News. If someone says that the Mickey Mouse comes out with a vaccine, people will probably believe it at this point. But with REGN, Regeneron, of course, this is that helps move forward of making these very special cocktails. It's very depends. It's an antibody one. This one, people are saying 600 plus. Again, by 600 plus, that has been a very Fibonacci number that we've been hitting here. Again, even with President Trump, who had it, we had this basically just trading sideways. It went from basically 550 to 564 all the way up to that 627. This kind of has been bouncing around ever since then. Even though this is still, I think, a very good, again, I'm not a doctor, this is still needed in hospitals because, again, the vaccine will take months and a year. I don't even know what people are. Again, I have no idea what the potential rollout of the vaccine could entail. So I think the people who are making these cocktails, like people are saying, could definitely be something to slow and help people if they have the virus in the hospitals. Yeah, they always refer to it as a cocktail. GTFO, you're saying a bunch of weirdos. Folks in Canada had Thanksgiving last month. Am I right? PLTR. So this one, I think this, again, full disclosure, I'm still in this one. I like it still in the long run. But there could be some profit taking coming into place here, and folks potentially trimming their overall positions in this and just kind of a little bit taking it easier. Because again, this has been a very enormous run, basically from like $10.50 to the $9 to $10 range, all the way up to $20 within, I don't know, was that less than a month? So it's the real Thanksgiving. I'm thankful for everything, so I'm just real thankful that everyone's out here enjoying the live stream, I hope. But anyways, with PLTR, we had that fib number at 1957. We kind of hit that by a margin of pennies on that Fibonacci number, and it's kind of hit this multiple times. I could see this definitely just kind of potentially holding this pattern up here and potentially seeing the 5 and 8 moving averages kind of settle down here, trade sideways for a little bit, and kind of wait for the 21 and 34 EMA to kind of catch up and see it could potentially get a next boost higher. Again, it is very much a hype train stock. A lot of folks on Wall Street Bets, a lot of folks kind of like this because it's had such a large move and they think it can just run higher. If this trend wants to continue, the next targets we're going to be looking at is around 26.17 and then 36.84 to the upside. That is basically indicating that the bottom at $8.90 is the low. But again, expectations, anything can happen in the market. We can see on how this overall plays out. It looks like a lot of folks are saying US kick your ass. Up 94K since $89 average. That's awesome, man. Great return there. A lot of people are holding shares. Okay. Yeah, I have longer dated options and have some shares, but mostly translated those stock into options for longer term there. You're holding until 125 for 1.3 million. If you hit that, yeah, that'd be excuse me. It's gonna be one heck of a run. Alex, what's up, my friend? Can you check out FedEx for December predictions? So I can't really give you the predictions, but we can look at what the charts are saying. So with FedEx, it's always a special one. I own FedEx as well, full disclosure. Looking for this potentially trading sideways here, and at least it holds above that 267 to 273 for the next target to be up here around 300 to kind of break above 300, and the next target really being 323 to the upside. But you can always see on how that one definitely can play out. With this one, we've had that super aggressive run up, and now it's just kind of trading sideways due to, for whatever reasons, again, now it's turning to like everyone just buying everything on Amazon and they're shipping it through FedEx. Now it's like, hey, if they need to ship the vaccine, guess who's going to be able to do it? FedEx, because they have the freezers, they have the special boxes or whatever to kind of do and so forth, see that. But that being said, we've kind of been in a very tight, choppy pattern here. As long as we stay above that 34 EMA on the daily sign, which is around that 267, 268 range, looks pretty strong. Again, not knowing when it's going to pop. We do have earnings on the horizon in the middle of December, so we could get a potential earnings run. Again, I'm really looking for around $300 potentially to the near side. It's there. Johnny Bravo's in Africa with the new China. That's interesting. I like that. That's actually insightful, actually. Exactly, Alex. Great. Earnings run up is definitely something to keep in play for. Exactly. Kenny, can you predict if Tesla will make Cybertrucks before 2021 ends? I would hope so. um, if I continues with some of the gains, I should buy a Cybertruck, which I don't know if that's just too big of a car, honestly, for me. But yeah, we'll see. Let's see here. Anthony says Tesla. Oh, here's our Christopher. Does anyone know anything about SRNE? If they've been going up? Well, if the vaccine news comes out, Christopher, for me, like it's hard for me to play the vaccine stuff as well because again, it's really much a crapshoot, meaning that you can just roll dice on a huge board of 150 plus companies. I hope they all do great work and they all work in some way. But again, trying to bet on a winner, for me, it's going to be very difficult. Tesla, of course, we can look at Tesla. Of course, that's my baby. Tesla, whew, what a run there, eh? That week was absolutely insane. It's kind of crazy because it got to the point where I'm like, Tesla might crash or go short here a little bit, maybe break and close below that 396 because I had that squeeze setting up. That I had that same thought pattern way back here when they announced their 5-to-1 split and it ran up. Like I feel like kind of like an idiot here, to be quite honest, that I should have added these calls that I had on my watch list, but I just didn't. And I'm human, mistakes happen. But that being said, we have not really closed above that previous high, so which is at 502.49. But if we continue to pound on the door and kind of stay above that 465, even coming down to that 21 EMA, which kind of supports around the 436 to 440 range, we can definitely see that potentially test the 450 range. But if this can get any kind of movement, that 608 target is very much in sight there. Brian, what's up, my friend? You want to look at Alibaba, BABA. Of course, this one, I pointed out on a video that some large options trader bet basically a straddle, basically buying the calls and puts the same strike price and basically expecting a super large move up or down. Of course, this move has kind of come into waves. We've kind of hit that 206 range and now kind of printing higher, closing $10 higher the previous day. So this has been a nice trade to the upside. For this to potentially to move higher, we're going to be looking for some initial resistance coming in around the 21 EMA. So it's just going to be around that 277 to 280 to the upside, my friend. And that downside support is going to be coming around that 260 range. DMC 8282, what's my friend? Buying GE tomorrow at 975 out at $10. GE. Yeah, that thing's been running up again due to that movement. 270, yeah. I have overhead pressure coming in around $10 and 29 cents to be some overhead resistance to the upside, but with support on the short term coming in around $9.37 and then coming down to around $8.45 to the downside. Oh, right. Okay. Thank you everyone for coming out. Let's see here. A lot of folks are pinging things, trying to keep track of everything. Yeah, I think GA can definitely run. It's just been beaten up so much. Just be a little bit careful. We could get some consolidation going up from there. What do you think about D-Dog? So Datadog, it's kind of in that same birdhouse in the sense of same doghouse in the sense of what is it? What's the Fastly? And with this one, we're seeing this to kind of that got beaten up. It kind of was a stay-at-home kind of trade, and now it's kind of performing a little bit better here. Kind of coming into potentially some overhead resistance around $94. But if we can get any kind of staying power and some really strong follow-through, and we get that 5 and 8 to cross through the 21, we can easily see it back up to 102 to 106 range. But yeah. And that's a big check mark there too. DMC 8282. I like that as well. Let's see here. Amazon going to 3,100 strong support, sell puts. The real one, I'm always down to sell puts in Amazon. It's definitely a stock that has been doing pretty well in the sense of it's just trying to, but it's something to really to look out for, and seeing how it plays out. With Amazon, even though it's coming out with its own pharmacy, and with their pill pack, this thing is still looking like I think it just kind of fell out of love with some traders and investors for some reason. I don't see why. Like, I don't know if they're betting against that less lockdowns, less people are going to be ordering stuff from Amazon. I don't see that. Like, maybe they just think the valuation's too high. I don't know the rhyme or reason behind it. But yeah, I think selling puts on this is fantastic, but it's just going to be very careful on where I would do it. On the aggressive side, I would sell it around 3,300. Even around the $3,000 strike price would be somewhat a little bit on the aggressive side, but this thing is looking some initial support around that 3,100 range, like you talking about the real one. So I think that's a worthwhile bet. Again, selling premium is always something that I'm always down for as well. Kumar, what's up, my friend? Can you please do some insights on NIO? Yes, we can look at NIO. Of course, NIO. Whew. How do I get started with NIO? Like, this has been an absolute rocket ship here. The trend trading is still intact here. With the 5 and 8 continue to kick us higher here with the purple parabolic SER dots. We're still looking to try to break above 52, 54 to the upside. That downside support is going to be kind of coming in around like 44.85. But again, intraday, it can come down all the way down to 35, but it's still, if it still closes above $45, it's still, the trend is still intact. Because you can see, look at these candle wicks, the wicks of the candle here. It has hit these parabolic SER dots multiple times over the last like week or so. So that the trend and that movement is continuous carrying us higher here. Once we start seeing these starting to break and we get the dots to the upside, or the dots start printing to the top of the ticks or the wicks, then we can start seeing some consolidation or maybe some downside. But the trend is still trying to kick higher here. And then XP, which is it XP? Is it X? What is this one? XPEV, right? Yeah. So this one, kind of in the same boat with like NIO. Again, there's the Chinese electric car manufacturers. With this, again, still holding that 5 and 8 moving averages, continue to kick higher. This one had some Fibonacci numbers around $50.57. This one could potentially run to $71. I think this one is a little bit more of a less known one than NIO. I think NIO has basically kind of taken the crown on being the like stock leader on what everyone knows, because it's getting a lot of much more love on Wall Street Bets and the media and things like that. But I think this is still a well substantial play. If you're looking at balance sheets, I'm not looking at any NIO's balance sheets or XPEV's balance sheet. I'm just looking at strictly at the chart. So to the downside, we're going to be looking some short dated support around $43.70, but with some longer dated support kind of coming in around $30. So that's that, my friend. Let's see here. David S., what's up, my friend? Let's see here. Good evening, Ken. Can you look at JNM, please? Friday was crazy. Yeah, did it take off on Friday? Let's take a look, Lou. Holy moly. Wow. That thing made a hell of a recovery, dude. Wow, dude. Kudos to that. Are you in this right now, David? Wow. It looked like it's hitting that previous Fibonacci move here. Let me go to the weekly side. So, okay. Had kind of sank off on quarter here. Kind of gave some of it back. Hit that 25.96 range, which is its 50% retracement. But if we can get above that 25.96, that $31.58 is the next target. But that is a heck of a move on the daily side here as well. The last 3 or 4 days, wow. That is a insane move. With some support on the shorter dated side around $20.34, but hi caramba there. Oh, David, thank you for the $20, man. I didn't see that. Thank you, man. Awesome sauce. Did you, that is, wow, thank you. Appreciate that. Also, thoughts on MMEDF. Friday was a great day. Wonder if it still has some room. Thanks. So I think that's the one Alpaca always talks about. This is the therapeutic, what's it called? Mushroom drug or something like that. It's like an LSD cocktail. This thing is looking, yeah, that thing looks fantastic. Again, I do terrible with penny stocks, David, but this looks fairly strong to the upside. It's going to be hard to draw fib numbers because, again, we're talking about this was used to be traded at 8 cents. But we can look at something here. Let's go do here for the previous high, just to the low here. So it's that 100% move, which is around $1, which is a nice round number. And that level around $1.19 is another key level. But if this can continue to go, the next overhead pressure be around $1.44. This can be also a nice round number for people to kind of remember that as well. But yeah, thank you again for the $20. You're in and out of, yeah, well, that's a very crazy move. Very crazy move. And congratulations on that trade. That looks fantastic. Fish SQ, yes. Let's look at SQ. Yeah, David. Fish. This looks good as well. I like SQ. This thing looked like it could potentially break out here. Kind of doing like a cup and handle here. If you're familiar with that technical term, where it's basically it makes like a cup here, basically like an inverse. Let's just imagine a coffee cup here, and it just kind of makes this kind of a bowl shape, and then it could just be a cup, and then it just takes off from here, or it can be a cup and handle where it kind of just makes this inverse semicircle here, and then just kind of just trades sideways for a little bit, making a little bit of a handle, and then bada bing, it just takes off to the upside. So I think this is definitely something to look out for. If again we start seeing it stay above the 193 to 194 range, trade sideways for a little bit. But if we start seeing it test and start breaking above the 204, I think that 204 can easily take it to 220. So great stock. I hope you're in it, and I hope you're making some money or making that cheddar off of it. Yeah, speaking of Square, I actually love the other company, which is PayPal, is actually kind of a similar chart that's actually doing quite well as well from that same kind of pattern, kind of make that cup and handle. Kumar says also SRNE. Yes, look at SRNE. That's a pharmaceutical, right? Yeah, so this is again, I don't know if when you got on, we talked about this one a little bit earlier. Pharmaceutical plays, not really my forte. We are seeing a particular pattern here. If we can get that 5 and 8 on the daily side to break through that 21 EMA, the next overhead pressure is going to be around $8.67 to the upside. But if that doesn't make it, we're going to be looking some initial support around $7.11 there, my friend. Christopher says MELA, please, and thank you. Kind of the same boat as well. Yep. Yeah, this is the China, not Chinese. What is this? Is this the Amazon of South America? Is this the one I'm thinking about? I think this is the Amazon of South America, right? But this, yeah, same kind of pattern that we just talked about, that kind of cup and handle, or just basically kind of forming this cup. So we start seeing it break above that 1450 to 1500. We could see a potential breakout to the upside here. With this, we're going to actually get rid of this fib number because it's broken. Let's do 2 fibs here for you really fast, Chris. We can do this one to this one, and then we're going to do this one and this one. We're going to see on what kind of is overlapping here. And I'm seeing some overlapping here again around that 1460 to 1485 would be a key breakaway, with the next targets kind of coming in around 1550 to 1650 to the upside. So this is definitely something that can continue to roll. With a really strong move, we can see that $1,700 strike price come in there. So that's definitely a very aggressive play. Again, very highly priced stock, but I think the thing is looking very well. So yeah. Sang Vang, TAN, yeah, that's the wonderful ETF of solar panels, which I got an ever so small with this move here. We're kind of seeing that again, the solar stuff, since a lot more people are moving to environmental friendly stuff, and solar panels actually prices coming down substantially. We're seeing a lot more competition, a lot more market come into play. We can definitely see this potentially kick higher with stronger support around $73 and looking for on 82 to 86 to the upside. So those are some key levels that we're going to be looking at to potentially hit those targets to the upside. Sebastian, JD, yeah, we can look at JD. They kind of got smacked around, if I remember right, on the beginning of the week, right, because of earnings. But it held up pretty well because it hit that 21 EMA, didn't close below it. Nice moves still continued there, looking for some initial targets to break above 90 and start testing around 95. If we can we can stay above the 21 EMA with some more support coming around 83 to the downside if it does want to tick down a little bit. DTFO says Disney and Apple. Yeah, Disney. Again, if you haven't watched The Mandalorian, if you're a huge Star Wars fan, please check it out. It's fantastic. Disney, again, this is going to be a direct reflection on how the overall market is continued to run here with the vaccine news, potentially openings and things like that. Disney is one of the largest companies being affected by it because they have ESPN Sports, they have the cruise lines, they have the parks, literally, and they have the movie business. Like, they're hit on all 4 sides of their base, and they're surrounded. They're basically at the Alamo right now, just hoping to get a Gatling gun and or some kind of a bombing stray from an A-10 Warthog to help them out of this scenario. And that A-10 Warthog is basically the vaccine potentially, and the ongoing positivity stuff of coming through with reopening markets and allowing less restrictions on things. But that changes day to day if you watch the news. But looking at the chart, we have some shorter dated support around 137.50. Again, that was a key level that we've bounced off a couple months ago in September. Now we're seeing that clear up. We finally broke above that due to a fantastic quarter. If we can stay above that 137, that 153 is going to be your next target to the downside. If it really wants to give back a lot, that 125 is going to be the next level to the downside. And then you talked also about Apple. Oops, I spelled that wrong. Apple, of course, this is one that it's kind of just been in a very strange consolidation period as well. Had that huge run thanks to this huge split, ongoing, everyone just buying AirPods and things like that. Now they're making that transition, announce their newer CPUs using the new ARM, not new, but using the new architecture of developing the ARM instead of just relying on Intel or AMD, the x86 structure, but going into and manufacturing their own systems. And again, they're the right people to do it because they have the largest market share. They control the whole computer system. So they are in the right place at the right time. With this one, I kind of like this one. I've been selling puts in this one a little bit, selling it around the 110-ish range to 112 to continue to kind of trade sideways. But if we can get any kind of more overall movement in the stock, again, this could be kind of a Santa Claus rally, a holiday rally stock with, again, a lot of people on their wish list is going to want an Apple, AirPods, iPad, whatever. We can get that movement potentially up to around 120 to 125. So, yeah. Christopher, yes, you are correct. Kenny does love Disney. I watched some of the Clone Wars. I haven't watched all of it. Kumar, we did BABA, but we can do it again for you. So BABA is something kind of potentially trying to do a turnaround here. Kind of finding a base here around 260 here. If we can get any kind of movement in this trend to continue, we're going to be looking for the next targets around 277 to the upside, but with that support around 260. Can you look at FDX? Yeah, we looked at FDX. We're looking for FDX potentially to hit 300 for an earnings run. Okay, let's hang on. Let's just got a lot of folks here today. Ken, I got S&P 500 going to 3,700 in February, then 4K in April. Wow. Okay, maybe. Tech, what's up, my friend? I haven't seen you for a while. How you been? FUV. Let's look at FUV. What is that? Where were you 2 days ago to tell me to buy this? That is crazy. Wow. What does this company do? That's insane. Wow. FUV. FUV, yeah. What do they do? What do they do? FUV, electric company in Eugene, Oregon that manufactures and sells fun utility vehicles. FUV is a two-seater. Okay, interesting. Those EV markets are really blowing up and everyone's trying to get on that trend. That is insane amount of move. Let's see if, I bet you this is going to line up with like the 400-ish Fibonacci number. Oh, okay, the 200. Okay, the 400 is at $22.50. So I think it could hit $22.50 if this movement wants to continue. It's insane. That FOMO is real. We talk about these middle fingers of FOMO. So the volume kind of comes up to this range around here. So basically a little bit less than what the Friday was. We get that middle finger analogy, which I talk about. We can show that a little bit better here on this chart. So you can kind of get this middle finger here where you have the knuckle, the middle finger, and then another knuckle. Basically, I consider that a FOMO trade, and there's just too much people in the stock just because it's running up, and there's just not enough investors. There's more just day traders and get rich quick folks. And that they could get a little bit of sell-off. So something to look out for Monday, but that is a, wow, that is a crazy move there. You had 1,000 shares at $7. Tech. You have, yeah, that, wow, good for you, my friend. Good for you. Wow. One of these days they'll pop again. Yeah, one of these days, and it just literally just took off. That's an insane move. Wow. Congratulations so much, my friend. Self set. Yeah, I messed up on FTX call. You got to be very careful with buying short dated calls because that theta will eat you up, my friend. That theta will eat you up. The middle finger strategy. So I kind of brought that into fruition on Nat. If you're familiar with Nat, one of my first more popular videos that I did, that I think I said like I'm shorting NAT. If you're not familiar with NAT, is a commercial oil storage transportation company, and it's something that has been absolutely, it went skyrocketing because the price of oil dropped so much and it wasn't worth selling on the market. So all these oil producers and contractors are trying to find room on where to store it. And this happens every couple of years. I always play it this way. These transportation companies, aka the oil transporters, always go up on the news, but guess what? They always come back down. And I kind of talked about this middle finger move way back in March and April, where you get that first knuckle, the middle finger, and that second knuckle, and that just means hasta la vista, baby. We're going down, and this is where I shorted it around the 650 range and just rode it all the way down to a little below $5, a little bit more than that, and just let it just continue to decay. And it was a great little trade. Again, guess where it is at today? $3.18. That's like these are not made investments. These companies are not the world's greatest to invest in. Yes, they pay a great nice dividend for a little bit because again, look, it paid a 7 cents dividend, a 14 cents dividend, then a 20 cents dividend. But guess what? The next quarter they're only paying 4 cents. So these are very volatile stocks. These are more or less trading vehicles rather than just investing vehicles. So that was just kind of what I'm talking about here. But this pattern of the middle finger mentality, is something always to kind of look out for there. But definitely a very interesting trade there. So when you see that kind of mentality kind of come up with that, let me think of, was it Till? What was it? T-Ray? What's the drug stock that everyone Tilray? Is it Try? Try-Ray? No. Till RY? Is that it? Yeah, that's it. So this thing kind of had the same mentality, but on the weekly chart, when I hit 300, that middle finger mentality, we can go to the daily side. It just this chart pattern comes up substantially many amount of times. It doesn't mean to just continuously sell just because on that particular volume in isolation, but it's something to kind of really look out for, and kind of give yourself a good heads up of like what potentially could be coming down the road. EV plays are crazy. Yes, Solo is definitely one that's been on the radar as well. Yeah. What is this? Alan, what's up, Alan, my friend? Um, CSIQ. What is that? Canadian solar. Okay. These solar stocks have been insane. Again, I'm not sure on their quarters and how they pay out and things like that. But this one, yeah, just kind of trading sideways here. I am invested in TAN, the ETF for solar stuff, but with this move here, it's kind of choppy here. Long as the 5 and 8 stay above the 21 EMA and the ticks don't close too aggressively below 37, this thing could potentially building a base here to potentially get back above 40. On that one being said there. And Johnny Bravo saying a bill passed for private jets in the CARES Act. So I bought a penny stock on Boom Finder, ran up 29% ticker on Friday. What? What? BDRDF. Wow, that's a whoa. So this one's going to be popping some more. This is a private jet airline company. Wow. Yeah, 19 cents and went to 31 cents. So that's a nice return in a very short period of time. Even just in 2 days, that's a very nice return. But something I can't touch with a 10-foot pole, though. Let's see here. A lot of people coming in. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it. Yeah, Ride has definitely been running up a lot. We can look at Ride and Solo. So Ride, again, is Lordstown. With this one, very aggressive move. Again, it was a SPAC. Came out. It's got a great story behind it. People love it. Then sold off with a lot of the other EVZ stuff. Of course, we saw that with Halion, Workhorse, all the other like American-made Nikola Motors. Again, we kind of know that was kind of a little fraudy-ish. Bouncing around here now, looking for this potentially some resistance around 27.79. To kind of potentially get above here. We've seen that level here at the end of September kind of being an issue before, but if we can, as long as we stay above $24.64, the overall play is still intact to kind of be trading sideways. But again, kind of keep this one on a short leash due to the fact of these EV markets have just run up so much. Speaking of running up so much, have you seen Solo? Like, this has been one that's been absolutely like going gangbusters, jumping from basically, what is this, $2, $3 a couple weeks ago to $13.60 just on Friday. Yeah, that happened, guys. Like, absolutely insane. Absolutely insane. Kind of hit that fib number around $12, which we talked about before, with the target potentially being around 17. Not sure if it's going to happen. Being very mindful of the this pattern potentially kind of losing some steam here, and looking for some initial support around $8.26, and then around $7 on the short side. But yeah. What's the one? A what? AYRO. Let's take a look at that one. AYRO. Wow. That's another crazy one. That's a crazy looking stock. Yikers. It's hit that Fibonacci number pretty much to the T here at $9.72. If this wants to continue, we're going to be looking for an $11.70 to the upside. But with these large gap ups, it's going to be very careful and be very mindful that these could be definitely, excuse me, could be running out of steam soon. Yeah, workhorses ran up a lot too, but I think people are putting a little bit too much weight into that contract with the federal government or the Postal Service. DMC 8282. I had 1,000 shares of Solo at $3.23. It took profits 10 cents later. I know that. That's what happens when you day trade and you're not swing trading it, but you still made a profit. Another play on the 373 Max coming back in aviation trainers. Ticker symbol ACAE has been doing well for me, and just give a broad trainer for offers 3 services trading as well. CAE. Interesting. That looks a lot like a very interesting ticker here, with a potential kind of support here around 23.20. with again some stronger targets potentially looking for around 26. That's an interesting chart. I like this one. Thank you, Johnny. Yeah, the CBD stuff was crazy like 2 years ago. I totally remember everyone had everything CBD, everything. I think that CBD stuff is still on the market. I see signs on the road for local farms growing it for muscle relaxing creams, everything. Weed stocks. I don't know too much about the weed market. I'll be straight with you. Did you go over LGVW and NNDM? We haven't done that, but NNDM is definitely one that has been a huge mover. I wonder if you're in that. That has definitely been a large move here. We're looking for some initial support here. Targets around $5.16 to $5.20. Of course, we've kind of been really aggressively bouncing around those levels. We're really looking for potentially it maybe to test $6 again to the upside. We'll see. That's going to be a very tough call. Again, this thing has moved quite a bit, and I think reason why this one's getting a lot of action is because ARK Investing and Kathy Wood has been buying this hand over fist way back when. And then Longview Acquisition, I have no idea what this is, but this looks fantastic. Wow. What is this right here? Is this another, looks like a SPAC that just announced something. Why Longview Acquisition stock jumped today? Jumped today at 200% for this announcement. Longview is a special purpose acquisition, but which has been going. Longview will be merging with Butterfly Networks, a digital health company that provides access to medical imaging such as ultrasounds once the deal closes. Interesting. I like this. This thing could be something that could run. Like this thing could just run because once everyone kind of gets that movement in, again, it being such a hot, heavy name, again, especially the medical device stuff, like bye-bye. Nice. Good calls there, my friend. Great stocks. Thoughts on Rocket? Yeah. Poor Rocket. Like, I think a lot of people were just a little too far ahead of this company. I think its time will come. I just think it needs a little bit more time to kind of sit back, relax, and just kind of be digested here a little bit. It kind of came out of the gates really hot, a little too fast. Looking for some initial kind of just trading range between that $20 to $22 range to potentially kind of play out. The quarter wasn't terrible if I remember, but looking for this potentially just kind of trade sideways for a little bit. And once we get further announcements of home sales and other folks buying homes, I think this is going to potentially be a runner as more as an investment than more of a trade for me. Kev says STNE. Love the eyes, my friend. STNE. That sounds familiar too. I think you talked about, yeah, I remember this one now. Yeah, this one has just been a nice, steady Eddie runner. Wow. This nice little pattern here, just holding the 5 EMA here and just continue to grind higher, hitting an all-time high on Friday. That's a sexy looking chart. Sexy looking. Skate Box 09 says AVGR. What is that? Oops. AVGR. I got nothing on that one, my friend. That's too much of a penny stock. That is literally a penny stock. Nope, I day trade penny gappers every morning, make 200 bucks a day, keeps the job away. That's a good way to look at it. If you got a nice little system down and just kind of just churning the wheel, that's fantastic. Just grow the account. What? It costs $1,200 an hour for flight training? Man, I'm in the wrong business myself. Yeah, I think NIO is definitely the shining light with Tesla as well. Definitely timed. Those have just been flying substantially higher. Wow, you guys are. Thank you everyone for coming out. I really do appreciate it. They've been a lot of fun. But let's see here. Which is why people should be worried about PLTR. People have another good example. Why is NAO is why is NAO Bay? NAO is my bay a little bit. Like NAO is just kind of climbing up here on this chart. Like look at this daily chart here. So NAO has just been holding that 5 and 8 moving averages and just continue to grind higher here. Hitting the parabolic SAR dots to the downside, but never really breaking through it on the daily side, and just continue to kind of churn higher here. So I love NIO. With the trend continue, we can potentially see the break of $52.54. I think this week actually. Did you ever nibble on EVRI? No, I don't think I did. Yeah, I don't think I did on this one. Yeah, it doesn't look familiar to me. Why is this not clicking here? There we go. Might have been because I had earnings. But this chart looks pretty good. Again, looks somewhat healthy here, kind of holding that 5 and 8 moving averages, potentially holding that 21, maybe slowly grinding back up to 12 with that one. Definitely, again, doesn't look like a very crazy aggressive like a Tesla or NIO stock, but it's just a nice slow churner to have in the portfolio. Gus, oh, what just happened? Oh my gosh, I'm sorry, guys. YouTube does a fantastic job of not letting me allow to highlight the chat. What do you think about TWLO? Is that Twilio? It had a nice move on Friday. I actually kind of like it still to the long side. We did just have the 5 and 8 cross through it, potentially looking for it to break above 310 to the upside. I've tried to trade this with the options. The options are not the most fun to look at because the option spreads are kind of wide on depending on what strike price you're looking at. This one is definitely a little bit higher priced one that I normally trade, but if we can get a break above 310, I think we could potentially test 320 to even that previous high around 340 to the upside, with some downside support coming in around 285 to around 275 there. So nice little moves there. Okay, hold on. Lovely YouTube chat here. What's your thoughts on FUBO? What is FUBO? This is the Robin Hood of China, right? I've heard of this one before. This one is definitely one that has been trading very well here. Not seeing this potentially break out here. It's how long? It looks like it's fairly new stock as well. Again, it's Chinese stocks, so be careful in that sense. Holding here with a very aggressive pattern here, potentially looking for around $25.80 to be the next potential overhead of resistance here, but with the longer term goal looking for potentially $30 to the upside, with some short dated support coming in around 1911 to around 1676 to the stronger support to the downside as well. NIO problem is the battery swap instead of charging. Yeah, I think it's a pro and a con. Like the battery swap thing, it works in a very populated area, but then it comes all down to inventory. So, Teledoc is scary. TDoc is scary. I've kind of held it in longer term account, but it's just kind of been not performing as well as I thought it would have, honestly. Nvidia, yeah, we can look at Nvidia. Of course, Nvidia had a good quarter, right? If I remember right, like it didn't say anything too scary and scare people away. But we're looking for some initial just kind of trading sideways, kind of like we've seen with AMD. More or less with AMD actually, where it just kind of just trades sideways for a little bit, then it has a huge explosion higher. But with Nvidia, we're kind of looking at the same pattern here, kind of trading around the 50-day currently. We got kind of some tight consolidation coming in. Initial support to the downside, it's gonna be around $514. If that breaks, we're gonna be looking for that low around potentially 500 to 496. But if we get some positive news, some volume, and get those moving averages higher, we're going to be looking for that target around 562, then to 588, which was basically its previous high looking there. Yeah, I own Zoom at like $120, so don't get me started on that one. Yeah, I think Teladoc is just going to be the market leader in all that stuff, and they're really just going to be trying to be the main competitor. Yeah, AMD, talking about just AMD here. Really that sideways pattern. We always talk about AMD being the stairway stock. It kind of makes these really unique stairways, so we can kind of look here on the weekly side. It has a staircase. Excuse me, makes a step, kicks higher, makes a step, kicks higher, makes a step, kicks higher, makes a step, potentially looking higher. So we're going to be looking for targets but above 94 to around $100 if you're going to be on the long side. Full disclosure, I am long AMD. On the weekly side, which again, that's why I'm showing you here, it's just been holding that 21 EMA pretty well. So this is something that I really, really like as well. And Christopher just talks about this. I love TSM as well to the long side, and I own TSM as well. GTF says NETE. What is that? Whoa. Net element? What is this? It's an interesting chart here. I think this could run. The daily chart looks terrible. Like, what is this? What do they do? This just looks crazy looking chart. Let's see here. It's gonna be hard to draw fibs on this one. So it's kind of broken through its 50 percentile move and looking for potentially testing 1454. But again, this looks like a very aggressive moves up and down. So it's something that it's going to be very difficult to trade. Again, this thing was $1.47 a couple months ago. So yeah. It's a global technology-driven group specializing in mobile payments and value-added transaction services. The company owns and operates a global mobile payments. So it's a shell company for something. It's for the mob. Like, yeah, we do mobile payments. We protect you, the laundromat, and yeah, you just give us the payments. That's what we take care of it. That's my horrible mob impression. I'm sorry. I won't do it again. We did Riot already. Can we look at PFE? Did we get to talk about that already? We haven't. So let's look at PFE. Of course, this is the company that had that fantastic announcement about 2 weeks ago about their vaccine. Of course, went from around 36 all the way to 41 and kind of gave it all back. Like once Moderna kind of came out, it's like a very interesting play with PFE here. pharmaceutical companies are so difficult to trade. But again, Pfizer's been around for so many years. I think correct me if I'm wrong, Pfizer's kind of having an issue with some like publicity stuff in the sense of the CEO selling some shares at a very strange time. And people are kind of questioning that, which is, again, it was brought way into disclosure of like back in August, whatever. Like, but this one, we're looking for some initial support around that 36 to 36, so $36 range to 36.50 to continue to hold. That being said, it's a pharmaceutical company. I don't like to touch these with a 10-foot pole, but this potentially could go further down to around 35. If it starts going breaking below 35.50 to the downside, we're going to be looking for some very negative aspects. But this potentially came back quite a bit here. If you're just looking on the daily side, this has been super choppy here, and it's something I really don't want to be touching with a 10-foot pole. Check. Can we look at RWT? Redwood Trust. What is that? RWT. Redwood Trust. Interesting. It's got a squeeze setting up. It had an earnings. It wasn't that most impactful. What's the story on this one? This is interesting. It looks like some kind of REIT or something like that, right? It's a REIT, yeah. That's what it looks like. A nice steady Eddie REIT. 14, nice dividend for $10 stock. But interesting play, I like it. Good to have in the portfolio, right? What's up, Rock? What do you think about EXAS? Exact Sciences. So this is interesting. Looks like it had a fantastic quarter, absolutely insane amount of volume, and now it's kind of back where it was. That seems a little strange. Looks, again, this is a very hard stock to kind of look at on a trend basis or even the Fibonacci sequence. It's just been very just choppy and just kind of a little bit lackluster. Initially, the last couple weeks or months, it's kind of been holding that 34 EMA. So we get that support or that base building here around the 112 to 113 range to kind of hold this pattern and not have these 5 and 8 to cross over. I think we could potentially build a base here and maybe see it go higher, but this is something be a little bit difficult to trade here to the up or downside again, unless you know a little bit more knowledge about it. David saying space January 15, 2021, the 25 call. Yeah, so space, I love it. I own longer dated options in this one. This one has just been a very much a stock that has just been kind of just since its SPAC operation really ran up higher. One of the first SPACs that I actually traded came back down. It's been holding that $17 to $18 range, runs up to 25, comes back down, runs up to 22, comes back down, runs up to 22, maybe to 25 again, it comes back down. Initially, I'm not going to be the negative Nancy on this one, but potentially if it starts failing here around 25.78, we can be coming back down to around the 21 to even back down to 18. But on January 15th, he's saying that he's expecting $25 call. I think maybe it's time for it to, maybe it's time to run, isn't it, David? It's a REIT. You got 3,000 shares at $4. Yeah, that's a great. Yeah, I bet you bought it way back when the market crashed. That's a great one. The REIT ticker was REIT. or WT. Yeah, you're very much right, Johnny. A lot of those trade the same. There's also something like there's so many other those REITs that kind of just play the same method. What do you think about Riot blockchain? Yeah, Riot had some interesting moves, if I remember right, on this week, right? It had a huge, again, everyone, since this whole Bitcoin's heading its way to 2,000 or 20,000 again, things have been kind of popping off with Riot blockchain. Again, it has blockchain in the name. I'm not sure what it does, but a lot of people are really just kind of seeing it kind of take off for whatever reasons because it's the FOMO mentality. This one, we're not seeing that middle finger pattern here quite yet. Let me go to the weekly side to kind of show you a better example of this. Again, this thing hit on the whole Bitcoin fun party, hit its high around $46, okay? I'm not sure it's going to hit $46 again, because again, that was if you were trading Bitcoin back then, that was an astronomical amount of time, or a crazy time to be trading or even investing in Bitcoin. Because I remember I bought my first Bitcoin around $2,000 or $3,000, and then seeing it explode over the next couple months, and the mainstream media get a hold of it, and just it was just insane. Like on seeing that FOMO really kick in. Yeah, LADR is one that I hear a lot that people own. MITT. What is in that one? Is that a stock? Is this a REIT? Ooh, that looks like a really beaten up one. Yikes! I don't want to touch that one. LORL, Laurel Space and Communications. Interesting. Yeah, so before the pandemic, it wasn't doing too well. Because again, I always look on the daily and then weekly real fast, just do a quick switch. Kind of a downward trend here. Not really the most sexiest pattern here. That I'm looking at here, and then it kind of just goes into what time frame do I prefer. I always prefer the daily and weekly side. This is what I always look at initially to kind of give myself a better understanding of what I'm looking at. So on the weekly side, it's kind of a downward trending stock. We are seeing a squeeze that fired kind of short here, looking at like it potentially ran out of steam here. Looking some overhead pressure around $22.24 is something I really want to be to touch here as well to the upside. If it breaks above this, we can potentially see it at 26. But this thing has been somewhat of a beat down stock, and it kind of needs to prove itself to me before I want to be beginning into this. That's not a bad dividend. 4.9%. Not bad at all. Is that monthly or quarterly? Most of those rates are monthly, right? I think the one we it's Arbor ABR. That's one that a lot of people talked about as well. Much better than those damn bank loans, bank interest rates. I know. Like, I remember when I first learning about money on people talking in the 90s on, oh yeah, just put 200 or $300,000 in a high interest bank account at 6 or 7%, and you'll be set for life. Can just do that. You'll be set for life. I remember people saying that for retirement. I'm like, now looking back at it, I'm like, yeah, that's not must not be working out now, right? Definitely some interesting times to see on how investments have come through the years. Very interesting as well. Let's see here. San Diego Sam stocks. Ken, I got 50K to YOLO. Which option should I buy? Well, San Diego Sam stocks, you came to the wrong place because I'm sure a lot of people will tell you what to YOLO in. Um, um, Definitely to use it wisely. Split it up 5-10 different ways and put in equal amount of weights and just kind of let it play out depending on how you like to trade. Yeah, exactly. Like your grandparents did that. Yeah, point 0.3 is nothing. I can't. What up, man? What will happen to energy sectors with XON Chevron is a good term of dividend? Yeah, those oil stocks, they still have a good dividend, right? Like XOM, they still pay out a dividend, right? Yeah, they've still been paying out their dividend. Again, the thing is like the stock has been beaten up, but they're still paying out the dividend, which a lot, again, the boomers love their dividend, which is, don't get me wrong, it's always nice getting a very nice monthly dividend, okay? Like, these don't pay out a monthly dividend, but like a lot of these very aggressive energy companies and REITs, they pay out a monthly dividend. With the whole oil things going away, I don't think oil is going to be going away as fast as people think. But are there any plays in it? I don't know, Kumar. It's not really my thing. I'll look at some charts tomorrow and see if there's anything going through because there's not really much there like to look at. Seeing on how those play out because again, if you just look at this on a daily side, this trend just doesn't look healthy. And then the weekly side as well, like Exxon has not been able to get above its 200 EMA on the weekly side. On the daily side, even before the pandemic, it wasn't even it was below the 200 EMA. So just a very well underperforming stock for my metrics, honestly. If you're owning it for the dividend or whatever, that's other things as well. So yeah. Oh, thank you, Sam. I appreciate that. Yeah, be careful YOLOing. But let's see. GRBX. What is that? GRB. Oh, sorry. K. Okay. GRBK. GRBK. Greenback Partners. This is what is this? Is this like a green brick? Is this like an environmental friendly company? The chart looks really actually very nice here. Really holding the 21 to 34 EMA, continue to grind higher, potentially hitting some resistance here around 22.73. Looking for the potential targets to around 27.27 to the upside. But this is a good look at chart here, my friend. Thank you for bringing that to my attention. Yeah, everyone's pulling on REITs now. Love the REITs. Buy Disney 200 calls for April 2021. Disney 200 calls for 2021. 200? You're giving yourself until April. Let's look at the options real fast. So let me already have this. Make sure I can pull this up. So again, I'm going to look at so I use Tastyworks for trading stock and options. You don't have to, but I have an affiliate link in the description if you're interested in trading, checking it out, and supporting the channel using that affiliate link. So Disney, you're saying April, $200. So the options market's only expecting a move around $19, and $200 is way out here. Looks like there's quite a bit of open interest that came out here. So you're basically, if you bought it on Friday, bought it for around 65 to 70 cents in the close, Yeah, the probability of profit is 4%. Probability of making 50% profit is 40%, so that's not too bad. Of course, the option only costs 68 to 70 cents, or 68 to $70. But you're really expecting a very large aggressive move in Disney to the upside to have these to kind of print and make you a lot of money. That is definitely a very, very bullish trade. Even though I'm long Disney, I'm not saying this can't happen. God hear me. I am not saying it can't happen, but it's somewhat out of the books as of right now. But is it a good call? I don't know. But okay, if you're entitling it as is it a good call, I would say I would rather put my money somewhere else. If you had a $150,000 account and you wanted to put in $500 to $1,000 into this investment, go right ahead and just let it go, let it ride. So you can go forth. You can YOLO these calls. You're giving yourself plenty of time. It's 145 days out. If you wanted to do less than 1% of your portfolio on a YOLO play like this, it could potentially work out. I'm not saying it can't. This thing could, even if Disney moves in the next month or two to 160, 175, these options will print a lot of money. But again, you really, really need the stock to move quite a bit. Again, we're in some really crazy times, especially with the pandemic. Any kind of good news on the vaccine and overall movement towards this, Disney can move. So I'm not going to say it's a dumb move. It's just not an ill-advised risk to reward management. You're really risking capital that might not make you much money. It's not my way of trading. %4 is good odds. Yeah, let's look at the people are asking for some analysis on the S&P 500. Of course, S&P 500 kind of just been little oops-a-daisies, kind of just trading sideways here. Again, every Monday, so tomorrow's the third Monday. I wonder if we're going to get some vaccine news coming out from another pharmaceutical company, if we're going to hear from J&J on their vaccine rollout and what they're going to be doing. I don't know. Like, I'm just kind of being whimsical here and just stating the facts there. With S&P 500, we have some support coming in to the downside around the 35. Let's just call it 3,500 to the downside. We're kind of been trading sideways here a little bit. To be mindful of the week ahead, again, the week ahead is going to be Thanksgiving weekend for us here in the United States. Trading volumes are fairly low here. There is going to be many key earnings coming out. Again, we are in a crazy time, so anything could happen, even on Thanksgiving holiday or even during this week. It doesn't mean that bad news doesn't need to come out or good news doesn't come out. I'm just saying it's going to be a little bit more a lackluster, and we could be getting somewhat of a close. Maybe a softer. Again, I'm going to bite myself, shoot myself in the foot here if I say there's not going to be much action. I think that anything can happen. Let's put that straight out there. Anything can happen in the market. Historically speaking, this week has been lower volume and less larger gaps up or down. So let's keep it at that, right? That sounds good. But for some targets, it's going to be looking for this trend to continue, the 21 to 34 to continue going higher. We're going to be looking for 36.92 to the upside. So basically around the $3,700 strike price, which DMC 8282 has talked about multiple times. Yeah, again, I'm not the largest fan of buying out of the money calls. It's very, very dangerous. SP Walmart, yes. Actually, I own Walmart. It's a very interesting stock, even though somehow they're buying a social media company. Anyways, With this one, we're looking for this potentially to kind of continue to go higher. My targets for this one is still around 160 and to potentially break 155 in the near term. Owning this stock longer day down the road to continue to move higher here. Initial support to the downside is going to be around 147 and then longer dated support around 144. But this looks like it wants to kind of been bouncing around its all-time highs, kind of just trading sideways and potentially getting that really kick in the butt higher to really kind of get it into that next stratosphere level. Looking at Lemonade, yeah, this is not the Lemonade stand. This is the insurance company. Is it LNND? Yeah. This kind of has been like a newer IPO, newer stock on the market, kind of in the same pattern. Kind of took off like rocket out of the gates, kind of gave some of it back, and now it's kind of been trading sideways, kind of getting its groove, kind of get rid of those weak hands that it had at the beginning of its IPO stages, and now it's kind of been trading sideways for a little bit here and seeing how it plays out. Initially, some overhead support around $70 to the upside, looking for some initial targets around 76. Downside support is going to be pretty obvious here around the 56 to around the $58 level there. Goldman Sachs predicts 3,700 for S&P for the end of the year and 4,300 by 2021. I don't know how Goldman Sachs must have a crystal ball. I don't know how they do that. I don't know how they can predict that. Shoot, Xpong. What's Xpong? I don't know what that is. What's the ticker for that? Oscar, what's up, my friend? We did Nvidia. Nvidia is kind of just trading sideways here. If it can hold in its current range, we're going to be looking for its next level above 580. Sharij, can we look at BA? Yeah, we talked about BA. Sorry, Alibaba multiple times. Alibaba, we're going to be looking for some initial overhead resistance around 277 to 278. If it can break above that, we're looking for 300. David, Beyond. Yeah, we haven't looked at Beyond for a while. That kind of, I've seen that kind of kick around here with its honestly terrible earnings that came out and really just didn't do much of anything, and the CEO really missed and kind of said it was all his fault. And with the whole McDonald's issue of it not going to be the their staple sandwich for whatever reasons, but this one initial support around 124, 125, kind of slowly kind of digging its way out of the grave here, looking for some overhead resistance around 143 to 145. But looking for this to potentially break above that. If we get that movement with the 5 and 8, any kind of oomph in the step and get up through the 21 EMA, we're going to be looking for 150 targets there. But it's not my favorite thing. It's kind of been really beaten up, and I really don't want to be buying anything too far down here. For Nugget, this is an ETF that does gold, right? Yeah, it's a leveraged ETF. This is usually not my favorite cup of tea for these levered ETFs. These are a little bit dangerous and get you in a lot of trouble. This is more or less to be traded intraday, maybe holding for 1 or 2 days, but these are not really longer term investments from my perspective, my friend. YYL vaccine play. Oh, Eli Lilly. Again, like we talked about it, I think there's 150 plus companies working on a vaccine, antibiotics, things like that. I hope them all the best. I don't know who's going to win. Eli Lilly has so many other great things going for himself. I think I remember investing in Eli Lilly years and years ago for the Alzheimer's drug news that they were working on. And that's where I learned my lesson of like, hey, even though stage 1 and 2 were fantastic and stage 3 was okay, there's just still so much unknown with these pharmaceutical companies, and a lot of information that we just need to play out here, and something it's very difficult to play. If you're just playing on a vaccine play, I don't know. I go for it. It's not my cup of tea though. Anyways. Yeah, Alibaba looks pretty strong on the daily chart, kind of coming back around. The momentum's kind of changing and it's continuing going higher. Yeah, Alibaba, T-Doc's finally coming. Peloton is really kind of coming back as well. Williams says FSLR. Is that a solar play? Yes, this is one that's on my radar, and I've been selling puts on this one actually. This is looking for basically very like negative, like again, I don't know which solar plays is the best. Basically, something to really look for on looking for this play here on the 21 EMA here, and looking for some initial support here around $81.72. We do have a squeeze setting up here. We have a nice volume zone oscillator and RSI kind of coming here. This is definitely something that I could be initially looking for some targets around 93.93 to the upside. And again, I'm always the more conservative investor. I'm just selling premium this right now. I usually don't go too aggressively unless I'm feel super confident. But yeah. Sorry, I'm just getting rid of someone in the chat telling me to F myself. Someone just a little bit unhappy. A little unhappy customer. Unhappy person about my stream. Netflix. Where do we start with Netflix? I'm trying to find something on Netflix to watch. I've been watching. Well, the kiddo loves Netflix, but mostly loves Disney Plus more on just on the content, ease of access, and just I think just greater quality, and then just what they offer is just fantastic. With Netflix, they're still going to be around, but I think what's really hurting them right now is the lack of being able to create content due to really rough restrictions on filmmaking and so forth. Nacho, no, they don't sell you or charge you for commissions to sell. So they only charge you on the opening commission to open a trade, or they don't charge you anything to close any options. There might be a little bit of a regulatory fee, but trading stock is free. Options is I think $1 or something like that, $2.50 or something to open the trade, and then it's completely free to close it. Datadog, we kind of covered that one way early in the day. Basically, what did I say about Datadog? I can't remember that one on top of my head. Yeah, this one is kind of like a fastly looking stock. We're looking for some initial support around 83 to 85. If we can get above 94, we could easily see that 106 kind of come in. IDEX, yeah, this was one that has been gangbusters this week, like lack of better words. Really took off here. Initially looking for some support, resistance around $2 to the upside. Again, this falls into the penny stock range, and I do terrible with penny stocks. Thank you, D. I appreciate it, my friend. I'm going to make a play on IDS. Could you think of the momentum it's building? I think again, it has had large moves in the past, so it doesn't mean it can't happen again. It's just a penny stock, and I just can't touch it. Freedom Songs, YY, Scam, question mark. How you feel? Again, I don't know. I never heard of it, so let's look at it. What's YY? I never heard of this in my life. But the chart looks terrible. So something happened here, and I don't like big red candles like this, so this scares me. Jets is a short. Jets, that's the airline ETF. So a short, I don't do well with shorting things as well, so I don't do any of this stuff. This is something I don't feel too savvy about. Again, the Jets ETF has all the ETFs of the airlines in it, so it kind of makes me somewhat happy about that. Because again, I don't know who's going to be the best. Again, if you want to play it directly, my honestly favorite airline is Southwest, but it's everyone's cup of tea. We've seen this level here before, around $20.75, and kind of fail here. I think with the stronger vaccine news and things like that. But that being said, I don't think things are just going to be overnight snap back into normal and business travel, and everyone just kind of been perusing around and getting on jet planes again and just kind of doing their own thing. I don't think that's going to happen anytime soon, but I think this is kind of an over exaggeration. I think we could come back down a little bit to around 20 to around 19 initially and kind of bounce around a little bit. Because I think maybe people got they shot first and they should have asked questions first. But yeah, I still like Jets. I own long-term options in Jets. Trading for LA or stock market life supposed to be is being sued by 47 people that reported him to predatory business practice. Well, okay, that's good. God bless him. I am not a guru, my friend. Let's see. Lit or JJN? JJN. I haven't even heard of these stock guys. A nickel fund? Wow. Okay. This is interesting. This is JJN, or what was the other one? Lit. Oh, lithium. Probably lithium. This is a great looking chart here. Just holding that the 21. It's broken below the 21 multiple times, but it's hit that 50-day to 55 and just been bouncing back. This is a very, very beautiful looking chart there, my friend, for lit. Yeah, of course, with the whole EV trend, that thing is going higher. Ash Huana on top. I don't know what language that is, my friend. Sorry. XRP is one of the foolish poor man thinking is going to be getting rich. Buy Bitcoin. Yeah, I again, I played Bitcoin back in 2016 to 2017, and I bought Bitcoin and mostly a lot of Ethereum at the time. You're a genuine person, you can just tell, bro. Thank you. I try to keep it real. REMX is another good EV play. It's Real Earth Metals. REMX. Vector ETS Rare Earth Metals. Wow. Wow. I was never exposed to this stuff. I've never traded this stuff. This is a fantastic stuff to do. Thanks, guys. Yeah, hitting its previous targets around 50, looking for the next target if this trend continues to around 57 to the upside. That's a good looking trade there, my friend. Good looking investment, honestly. Which stock? We talked about a lot of stocks, my friend. So will Tesla M? What is it? Will Tesla M? Will Tesla move? Yeah, Tesla will definitely move. I think Tesla, if we get any kind of momentum and this EV stuff goes into, this is what happens. This is what, again, even though Thanksgiving is a little bit different this year around, because again, a lot of people are not going to be going into other people's houses and whatsoever, that overall time off period, people talk. And people are going to talk about their favorite stocks and show off how much money they've made. And I think, especially in the EV market, we can get a huge kick higher. And I think, again, long-term Tesla shareholder, I think we can easily break the 550 in the near term. Johnny Bravo, I really do appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Nike, yes, we can look at Nike. Nike, I like Nike. Do I own their shoes? I don't know if I own shoes from Nike. I'm not a really big clothes person, but Nike, very interesting pattern here. We're seeing it knock on the door here around 133 multiple times here, potentially trying to break out here. This is looking like in a very aggressive pattern here. Again, Nike is a very large company, and it takes a lot to pivot and move here, but this stock performs really well here. It's, again, ever since the pandemic, it's just been increasingly going higher again, because they don't really need physical stores. They can sell everything online, right? Unless you want to try on shoes or whatever. But Nike, fantastic, famous brand. I think this can easily run higher. We're looking for around 140 to the upside and potentially testing its near-term targets and just continue to run higher here. But good looking chart. Why is no one talking about BYDDF? What is that? Is that a penny stock? That has to be a penny stock. Is it DDF? What is that? BY, let me type it in here. BYDDF. What is this? What is this stock? Wow. That's a great looking stock. That is a amazing looking stock. That chart looks fantastic. William, FDX, I think can hold its current levels. If you look on the daily chart, it's kind of been bouncing around, but looking for some near-term targets, an overhead pressure around 300. Kevin, thoughts on SBE regarding their merge? Again, that's one of those SPACs, right? Yeah, this thing is just with these SPAC moves, they're just absolutely astronomical. Sometimes they don't have reasons or any kind of trading parameters in the sense of like the physical known about these stock or these movements here, and it just really just kind of kicks that FOMO in. With this kind of weird candle pattern up here, usually not a fan of that. Again, that doesn't mean it's going to come down or crash. Again, these things just bounce around like a mother trucker. And this definitely could come up to $32, $33 even, to be some next overhead targets or overhead resistance, or it can come back down to 20. I don't know. It just kind of depends on what the weather is like tomorrow, if you know what I mean. I've never heard of BYDDY. Never. It's a Chinese EV. Okay. Okay, all Chinese EV stocks. There must be like 10,000 Chinese EV stocks because, wow. Interesting. It's a good looking chart. Macho, can we look at Blink? Yeah, this is another one that's been coming up quite a bit here. Charging here. Again, complete rocket ship. Like, what like what am I supposed to do here? Like this is insane amount of movement here. Looking for that some targets around 26. Why can't this just go to 30, right? Like I don't like we can look at some fib numbers here. I think there's going to be some targets. Yeah, 28.83 be some next targets to the upside. Support to the downside is going to be around 16.96 and then around $12.69 there. Crypto's been up for the last few hours. Let's look at, yeah, Bitcoin. Bitcoin. I had some targets around 17,600. Kind of broke past that. Looking for again. I think it could hit 20,000, but we'll see how that goes. I've played plenty of crypto in my life, and I really have much to go there. Barber, yeah, XPEV. So we did that one earlier. So this one is again Chinese EV company, which just call everything Chinese EV company. Initially can go higher here. We're looking for some targets around $71. I'm just gonna say it. I think this crazy movement of EVs is going to continue, especially into next week, and we could see some really large runs. Those are my honest opinions there. WD, yeah, WD had earnings, right? They didn't do too hot. Yeah. Is that William who wrote that? Yeah, William. WD came out not too fantastic. Now looking for some initial support where we can draw you some fibs here, and we can do these. Bada bang, bada bang. So initially looking for around 208 to potentially hold. If that doesn't hold, we're looking for 202, then to 195 to the downside. Again, full understanding. That doesn't mean that has to happen. The stocks can act on whatever whim. Those are just Fibonacci numbers to look at for some to kind of give you some kind of reference for some support. It would make sense potentially to hold around 208 to 200. Just that can be a nice round number. What's up, Wesley? Yeah, let's make some cheddar this week. Some cheddar. Webbush just upgraded Tesla to 560 minutes ago. Let's run this baby tomorrow. You know it. You're welcome, my friend. You're really welcome, everyone, for the input. On that note, folks, it is 11:30 here, where I'm currently standing on the East Coast, and I need my beauty rest to be able to trade and look at the markets tomorrow. And if you have any kind of recommendations that we want to see more videos of, if you want me to stream more, please let me know. Again, join the Discord completely free. We have a Patreon page. We have the YouTube membership tab. Definitely check all that stuff out if you want to support the channel. Again, guys, thank you. Catch you guys on the flip side. Peace.